Good evening and welcome to Pine Ridge High School. Tonight on Pine Ridge Television, the Pine Ridge Rams look to tie the regular season series at 1 against Seneca Valley as they host the Raiders. Hello again, everybody. I'm Brian Kirkman. I'm joined by legend Ben Lambert again. Now, Ben, last time these two teams played, Seneca Valley defeated the Rams 55-29. That game was played up at Seneca Valley Senior High School. Ben, what do you think are some keys for the Rams to prevent another loss to the Raiders?
Well, Brian, I think first and foremost they got to play a little bit better defense. I mean, you look at it, Seneca Valley's 8-0 and scoring 50 or more points, and Pine Richland's 0-7. So for Pine Richland, you gotta minimize the mistakes on defense, and again we look at last game, and Pine Richland only put up 27 points. It's very tough to win when you only put up that amount of points.
There's a three from the corner that is attempted by Graff. It's no good. Offensive rebound, Victoria Krankovic. Rams are on the board first, 7:42 remaining in our first quarter. Starting five for Pine Richland. Number 1, Kayla Graff. Number 3, Megan Llewellyn. Number 15, Callie Pulse. Number 33, Taylor Brenner. Number 45, Victoria Krankovic.
Meg Llewellyn, another basketball player in the Llewellyn household.
Yeah, we saw Colin play on Friday night, and Evan played here last year, as there is going to be a foul, a shooting foul.
Colin will be back here on Friday night for that big matchup between the Pine Richland Rams and Butler Golden Tornado.
Their first shot, free throw from Haley Kramer, is too strong. Second of 2. Rattles in. Haley Kramer gets the Raiders on the board. 2-1, Rams in the lead. Llewellyn looks to inbound. We'll get to Taylor Brenner. Taylor Brenner tried to get to Kayla Graff, but it's over her head and out of bounds.
The fastball out of bounds, Brian. Good thing it didn't hit anybody.
That would have hurt. Here's Koken. Will inbound it to Gross. McKenna Gross and Gretchen Koken, the two leading scorers for Seneca Valley this year. Last time these two teams met, McKenna Gross scored 21 points, while Koken scored 18 points. And there's a three that rattles in and out for Koken. Graff gets the rebound, gets it up to Llewellyn. Llewellyn gets it to Brenner. Brenner, a three from the corner, too strong. Bounces around and is rebounded by Callie Pulse. Gets it back to Graff. 6:45 in our first quarter. Rams up 2-1. Inside pass and a travel on Kayla Graff in the paint.
Yeah, Brian, those are some of the mistakes you want to avoid when you're playing a Seneca Valley team who can put up big numbers. You always want to get the points whenever you have possessions, because you know you may have a limited number.
Okay, here's Gross on the far side, defended well by Megan Llewellyn. Looking to pass it, and we'll finally get it to Karchut. Now it's back to Gross. Gross, a reverse layup, no good. And fought for the rebound. It's going to be a jump ball. Possession arrow points towards Pine Richland.
You know, Brian, this is what you want to do against the Seneca Valley team who can put up points in big numbers. As I said before, you want to make them feel uncomfortable, and that's what the Rams have been doing so far.
Seneca Valley coming off of a 54-45 win over Penn Trafford on Saturday. The Rams also played on Saturday, and they lost 54-40 to Hampton. That game was part of the Hoop for a Cure tournament played at North Allegheny Senior High School. There is a foul on Krankovic. The first of 2 from Koken is good. Game tied at 2. 6:06 in our first quarter. The second. Low to the left, and an offensive rebound for Martin. Martin gets it back to Koken. Koken at the top of the key, defended by Brenner. Gets it out on the corner. And now a drive and through traffic off of Seneca Valley, and the Rams will inbound right to our right, Ben.
Yeah, Brian, maybe a little bit of a break there for the Rams. They looked like they were spinning around a little bit there. Maybe that pass out of bounds might get them going.
So Graff will bring it into the front court, get it to Llewellyn at the wing, back to Graff. Inside pass, well, kind of, to Krankovic. Graff will drive, lay it up, and it's no good. Rebound goes to Martin. Martin gets it off to Gross. Speaking of that win against Penn Trafford, Gross had 17 points against Penn Trafford on Saturday. Here's Koken, defended by Brenner. Baseline now gets it back to Kramer. Kramer gets it on the far side. And that's Martin. Martin lays it up no good. Offensive rebound. That shot's no good by Karchut. And another chance, and now here's a long two. It's nothing but net by Haley Kramer. Kramer had 8 points of her own against Penn Trafford on Saturday.
Nice job there not forcing it and finding the open shot, and they were able to pick up the easy two as they had the open look.
So Raiders have a lead 4-2 over the Rams. 4:42 remaining in our first quarter. Here's Graff, and there's going to be a reach-in foul on Seneca. To be exact, the player is Madeline Karchut, charged with the foul. Here's an inbound from the baseline, and that's Graff. 4:38 now. There's going to be a travel on Pulse. Couple of travels early on for the Rams here in the paint.
Yeah, Brian, as I said before, you never want to do that against this team. If you're Pine Richland, you want to try to hang around as long as possible.
Both the Rams and the Raiders are 2-3 in conference action. Rams have wins over North Hills and Shaler. There's shot no good. Rebound goes to Krankovic. Now here goes Llewellyn in transition. Llewellyn tries to get it across to Brenner, and it's a turnover. And now going back the other way is Koken. She will lay it up, and it's good.
Yeah, Koken able to split the two defenders there and lay it up and in there, and all of a sudden you look up and Seneca Valley's gone on a 6-0 run here.
There's another turnover. Koken will bring it across the timeline and then get it across to Karchut. Karchut now get it to Martin. Martin at the top of the key. Gets to Kramer. A little bobble there by Karchut. Maintains possession for the Raiders. Koken right in front of us. Looking to pass. Defended by Brenner. And Gross now. Top of the key. Defended by Megan Llewellyn. 3:18 in our first quarter. As the ball rolls around, and now a three from the wing is nothing but net by Haley Kramer. And a timeout by Pine Richland.
Seneca Valley's been doing a great job of finding that open look. That's the second time that's her second situation where they've been stuck in a little bit of traffic there and been able to find the open shot and take it for the points.
6 points now for Kramer. Now we have a chance. We'd like to advertise our Pine Richland Television On Demand page. If you missed a sporting event, talent show, concert, morning announcements, or even a school board meeting, you can go to our Pine Richland Television On Demand page. You can access that by going to www.pinerichland.org/PRTV/on-demand.
You know, Brian, you mentioned earlier that both these teams come into today 2-3 in section play, and really the Rams have had a pretty tough year, but if they can pull off this win here tonight, it would really build some confidence for them, as this Seneca Valley team's very formidable.
There's a three by Megan Llewellyn, as you mentioned, Ben. 9-5 the score now.
We'll see if that three by Llewellyn can spark something for the Lady Rams here, as we saw that same thing happen in the game on Friday when the Rams were sputtering for the guys team, and Phil Dracovic was able to get a big dunk.
Karchut gets 2 more points. Yeah, Phil Dracovic getting more. A lot of dunks, but that play that Llewellyn just had just reminded me of a play that Colin had early in that game as Brenner tries another three, too strong. Colin actually had a shot from the top of the key there early in the game. I think that was their first 3 points of the game, in fact. There's a sub coming in for Seneca Valley, and that sub is Lexi Peffer, the sophomore for the Raiders. So 2:16 remaining in our opening quarter of action. Rams trail the Raiders 11-5.
Lexi Peffer, 6 feet. in height.
There's a long 2 attempt that rattles off the rim a few times, and rebound goes to Graff. That shot attempt by McKenna Gross. Here's Llewellyn at the wing. Gets it to Krankovic, and now an inside pass. Nice pass! And 2 points for Callie Pulse.
Nice job there by Graff there, able to find Pulse. It looked like she gave the illusion that she was going for the 3, and the defender bought it, and she was able to find the open shot and take it for 2.
Pfeffer tries to get it to Koking, and she will. Minute 19 now in our first quarter from Pine Richland High School. Alongside the legend, Ben Lambert, I'm Brian Kerp here on Pine Richland Television, bringing you some girls 6A Section 3 basketball on this Monday night. There's a turnover, and the Rams will inbound, down 4, 11-7. So Llewellyn will inbound it to Graff. Graff gets it back to Llewellyn. Llewellyn looking to set up a play, gets it to Brenner now. And now Graff back to Llewellyn. And a turnover, an errant pass, trying to get to Brenner, but instead it is caught by Koken. Koken gets it forward to Gross. Gross drives in the paint and then gets it back. A 3 by Kramer is nothing but net. Gotta watch out for Haley Kramer tonight.
Yeah, Brian, they've really been seem to have caught Pine Richland ball watching a little bit here early, as that's another three-pointer for Seneca Valley, as they seem to have been catching them coming in on the key, and then they found an open shooter there to hit for 3.
There's going to be a foul on Seneca Valley. And now Krankovic will have 2 free throws coming. First one too strong. Actually hits him a few times and is no good. Head coach of Seneca Valley, Robbie Lombardo, not too happy with that call. Thought it would be a floor foul. Second one hits the back rim a few times and is rebounded by Kramer. Now in the corner, that's Gross. Gross gets it back to Kramer at the wing. 20 seconds now in our first quarter. Gets it to Martin. Martin, defended by Pulse. Now a drive. Shot off the glass, no good. Rebound goes to Krankovic. Now here goes Llewellyn with 7 seconds. A turnover. Well, not really. She maintains possession, and now it's bobbled around 2 seconds. And shot's not off in time. The shot attempt was by Gross. So at the end of the first quarter, Pine Richland trails Seneca Valley
by
Raiders
a touchdown,
14-7.
Brian.
Yeah, there's our football score, Ben. So what adjustments do you think the Rams have to make here as we get into our second quarter of action here from Pine Richland High School?
Well, Brian, as I said earlier, I thought that Pine Richland got caught ball watching a little bit, and what I mean by that is you have a guy coming into the key, and then you leave the open man out there by the 3-point line. You can't do that. You got to make sure you cover every opening, and they haven't done that so far, and that's why they've been down.
Yeah, Haley Kramer leads in points here. What impressed you by the Rams so far? They only have 7 points, but is anything?
Yeah, I thought at times they've made life difficult for Seneca Valley on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, obviously, if you're Seneca, you like to move. You don't want to be uncomfortable, and that's what the Rams have done at times. But
yeah.
If you're Pine Richland, you really want to try to hang around with these guys. As the last time they played, Seneca Valley was able to really this game was able to get away from Pine Richland relatively early.
Yeah, the Rams tied it at 12 at one point in that game against the Raiders, and then big run by Seneca Valley got them the big lead, and they ended up winning that game 55-29, as mentioned at the outcast. There's a foul as Taylor Brenner went up for a shot. She would go to the line to shoot too.
Yeah, and if you're Pine Richland, a big thing to get back into this game is when you get that opportunity for those foul shots, you got to hit them.
The first of 2, low to the left, no good. Looks like Hannah Thompson will be checking in for Seneca Valley, and Karchut will go to the bench for a breather. Second is good for Brenner. Brenner gets her first point of the night as that ball's out of bounds. Rolled right by us. So Luan will inbound now. 14-8. Pine Richland trails Seneca Valley. So here's Graff at the wing, gets it to Llewellyn. Llewellyn gets it inside the paint, that's Krankovic, and now here goes Brenner on the drive. High post shot is too strong, rebound goes to Gross. Gross in transition, slows it down. And Kramer now gets it to Martin. Martin will drive against Krankovic. It's blocked away by Krankovic as she goes up for a shot, and now almost a jump ball, but the Rams come away with it as Kendall Gessner now in the game for the Rams.
Nice job by Krankovic there, not getting faked out.
3 from
earlier.
Wellens to the right. Another rebound for Seneca. Here comes Kramer. There's a timeout called by Seneca Valley. So some recent games for Pine Richland. Like I said earlier, they lost to Hampton 54-40, part of the Hoop for a Cure tournament out at North Allegheny. And then last Wednesday, they lost 52-40 at Mars. And then last Monday, they won by 10 points over Shaler, 37-27. And one thing I noticed from these scores, Ben, the Rams are a very good defensive team this year.
Yeah, Brian, it seems that when they either play really well defensively or at times they've struggled. You know, we mentioned that game where it seemed that they've like sprung a leak and given up 50, and then they've had inconsistency, and when you're inconsistent this much, you're not going to win.
Saw a good defensive matchup in the JV game. Pine Richland won that one 28-22, which was played right before this game that you're seeing right now.
Yeah, the girls will be going for the old sweep.
JV and varsity,
Get both the JV and varsity to win. We saw the Pine Richland boys team able to do that on Friday against Steel Valley with their JV team getting the victory.
There was a foul that just occurred on Koken. Now the Rams, it was a floor foul and the Rams will inbound. Here's Llewellyn. Llewellyn gets it to Graff at the wing now. Here's a 3 from the corner. Knocked over, that was Gessner's shot. No good. Now here's a drive, hits the rim a few times and goes down. That was McKenna Gross. McKenna Gross gets her first 2 points of the night. The score is now 16-8, and now here's a 3 by Brenner, too strong. And she gets her own rebound, and she is fouled going up for that rebound. That foul is going to be on McKenna Gross. An inbound up. Try to get to Brenner. Brenner will get it, and it's going to be an over and back call on Pine Richland. So 16-8, still 5:47 in our second quarter between Seneca Valley and Pine Richland. Thank you for joining us on Pine Richland Television tonight. Monday night basketball.
Nice play by Llewellyn there. Able to knock it away.
And she misses a shot, and now is going to be a foul on Llewellyn as it actually looked like Kramer brought it down, but it's going to be...
She was going for the strip, Brian. Going for the old strip sack, as they call in football, trying to take it away, but was called for the foul.
We have a stoppage in action. Then we'll get back to it here. 5:29 now as Martin will inbound to Gross. Gross brings it slowly into the front court. Now gets to Koken. Koken at the wing, guarded by Brenner. Now an interior pass to Koken. Koken, it's up and good. Seneca Valley now leads by 10, with the score being 18-8 over the Rams. Now here goes Brenner at the wing. Tried to get it to Gessner, but it is over her head. Now another turnover for Pine Richland.
Yeah, Brian, this is the last thing you want to do, and what happens is when you start to get down by double digits, you start to press things, and that's what's happening so far. You try to make plays that aren't there, and you end up turning it over and getting behind by even more.
Here goes Gross, and then gets it over to Koken. Koken, now it's Martin. Martin gets it back. Now a long two. An air ball. The attempt was by Gross. Now here go the Rams. Graff in transition. She will lay it up off the bottom of the rim, and an easy rebound for Carly Martin. As Gross gets it to Kramer. And a turnover for Rams. And now is a foul, a reach-in foul on Seneca Valley.
Good job there by Taylor Brenner, able to get in there and force the turnover and force Seneca Valley into taking a foul.
Yeah, Hannah Thompson charged with that last foul as Pulse waits to check back in. Here's Krankovic from about the free throw line. Shot's no good. Rebound goes to Gross. Gross brings it into the front court. Pass to Thompson. Now here's Koken at the wing. Back to Thompson. Thompson pulls up for a three. Off the front rim. Rebound goes to Graff. Graff in transition again. Outside. Brenner will try a three. And it's an air ball. And now here's a pass. And an easy layup for Koken.
You know, Brian, that was the second time that Koken was able to get in there. It seemed like I've seen on a couple instances on the last couple of three-point attempts by Pine Richland, she's been able to get in there and force the shooters to try to shoot it over her, and you end up shooting it over your overshooting your target. So that's the advantage of having a 6-foot defender.
So 3:37 in our second quarter. Pine Richland trails Seneca Valley 20-8 as the timeout is a couple of seconds away from expiring.
See if Pine Richland can get something going here with 3:37 left in the first half.
There's a 30-second timeout by the Rams that just expired. Kramer leads all Seneca Valley Raiders in points with 9. And Llewellyn leads all Rams with 3 points. Some nice passing there as it is still kept alive in a pass into the backcourt, and an over and back call as Llewellyn saves it in the backcourt for another turnover for the Rams. Rams down by 12. .323 now. Martin will inbound. We'll get it to, we'll try to get to, that was Thompson, and now here's Kramer. Kramer gets it to Martin. Thompson now at the top. That's Gross. Gross will reset, defended by Llewellyn. She drives. Layup's no good. Rebound for Graff. Graff gets it out to Kendall Gessner. Gessner now to Llewellyn. Llewellyn will get it back to Brenner. Brenner will drive. Gets it to Pulse. Pulse short corner, too strong. Gets her own rebound, misses that. And it's out of bounds off of Pine Richland.
Yeah, Brian, that's a tough one to take there. If you're Cali Pulse, you know, you're relatively not contested and you're unable to hit that. So hopefully Pine Richland's able to respond here, get something going quickly.
Pulse with 2 points tonight, as there's going to be a scramble for the ball. It's going to be a jump ball possession arrow towards Seneca. Looks like Koken will inbound and get it to Gross. Gross gets it to Martin. Martin at the far wing, defended by Pulse. Now we'll retreat to the top of the key. Now gets it to Koken. Koken will hold it. 2:15 in our second quarter now. Setting up a play for the Raiders. That's Gross. Now Martin. And tipped around, and there's going to be a foul called on Pine Richland.
You know, Brian, Seneca Valley on offense, they're doing what I'd like to call the old shootout move. Whenever you wait for the goaltender to make his first move. They're waiting for when Pine Richland's on defense, they're just keep passing it around. They're waiting for Pine Richland to do something that throws PR off, and then they're able to find the open guy or make Pine Richland force Pine Richland into taking a foul.
That foul was just on Kendall Gessner. And inbound, and now here's
good job there by Seneca keeping it alive.
Kramer, oh, and there's a foul called on Llewellyn. Could have been a clean block, but there's a foul called nonetheless. So 2 free throws for Kramer as the first one rattles in. Kramer in double digits with 10 points. Second. Off the front rim, and rebound goes to Brenner. Brenner gets it to Graff, and now Llewellyn. Llewellyn getting double teamed. Graff gets it now to Brenner. Brenner. And now Llewellyn will drive, try to get it in the pulse, and it's out of bounds off of Pine Richland again. They overturned it. Now the Rams will inbound. Now there's the inbound that goes to Gessner. Gessner to Graff. Rams down 21-8. Minute 20 remaining in our first half. Pulse. Now Graff. Graff now Llewellyn. Llewellyn will drive in the paint. Up a wild shot, no good. And now here goes Gross. Gross will drive behind the defenders, and the shot's no good. Now there's a foul on Pine Richland again.
Yeah, Brian, it seems like Seneca Valley's been able to get on these fast breaks and make it tough for Pine Richland to get back. Pine Richland's been forced into taking some fouls, at times sending Seneca Valley to the free throw line.
There was just an inbound that went off the feet of Seneca Valley, and now Pine Richland will inbound. Rams really need some points here in this last minute of the first half. Get some momentum going into the locker room. We're at 50 seconds now. Graff at the top of the key. Tries to get it, will get the pulse. Brenner wide open for a 3. Off the front rim, and rebound goes to Gross. Gross will retreat and reset, set the play. Now here's Martin at the wing, defended by Pulse. "21 seconds now in our first half as Kramer has it. Kramer trying to work around Graff. Good defense by Graff, actually. And now here's Martin. 8 seconds now. Koken will be at the free throw line, takes a shot from the free throw line. Shot rattles in and out, and it is out of bounds off of Pine Richland with 0.9 seconds left.
Thank you.
Our executive producer, Bill Clark, just congratulating Ben as that ball rolled right into our table here where we were calling a game. And there's a shot that's off the rim, no good. So at the end of the first half, Pine Richland trails 21-8 to the Seneca Valley Raiders. Ben, as they head in the locker room here, what adjustments do you think the Rams have to make here, down by 13?
Well, Brian, I think obviously they have to be better defensively, and on offense, you can't force anything. I mean, we've seen a couple of times here where they've tried to make the perfect play, and they just gotta be patient and wait for the open shot and take it whenever they have it, and they gotta start converting when they have open looks. That's why the score is so lopsided when you look at it right now, and really it's kind of a parallel of the first meeting between these two teams. The Seneca Valley, you mentioned earlier that game was tied at 12 early, and this game was kind of tight early, and then Seneca Valley was able to flex their muscles a little bit and pull away. So it'll be interesting to see if Pine Richland can come up with something here and get back into it in the second half and make it interesting.
Yep, so at the end of the first half, Pine Richland trails 21-8 to Seneca Valley. Will the Rams make a comeback here? Well, you'll see in the second half, but stay tuned here on Pine Richland Television. Alongside Ben Lambert, I'm Brian Kurt. We'll see you in the second half. Up and in. Kramer, the leading scorer for the Raiders, as she has been pretty much the whole game. She now has 12 points. Now Krankovic, turnaround shot. She will be fouled, and she will go to the line to shoot too.
Yeah, Brian, now, I mean, I mentioned it before, but now it's really critical for Krankovic to hit these 2 free throws to try to get the Rams some points, and maybe they'll gain some confidence.
First one's too strong. Peffer will check back in for Seneca Valley. Karchuk will go to the bench for a breather. Second from Krankovic. Off the front rim. Rebound goes to, that's Peffer, and now here's Koken. Koken brings it into the front court, now gets it to Gross, and nearly turned over. Instead, possession maintained, and now there's a turnover as Graff has the ball. Now Graff will drive, high post, and it's in. Kayla Graff has her first 2 points tonight. Rams have 10 points now.
In the double digits, Brian.
Yeah. Kramer scored more points than the entire Rams team, now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, she's had a great game so far for the Raiders.
As Gross gets 2 more for the Raiders. Llewellyn tried to get to Graff and it's kicked away, and it is off of Seneca Valley, and the Rams will inbound. Kendall Gessner will check back in for Pine Richland, while Thompson will check in for Seneca. Brendan will inbound right next to the Rams bench. Get it to Graff, and now here's Gessner at the wing. Now just inside the free throw line, Krankovic gets 2 more points for the Rams.
See if the Rams can get a stop defensively and go down and get 2 more here.
There's a drive and a score, and that is McKenna Gross. Just as the Rams get 2 points, the Raiders seem to get it right back.
Yeah, Brian, that seemed to be the theme of the game so far.
Baseline drive for Gessner, now a shot from the free throw line. There's 2 for Graff. Rams are heating up from the field now. 4:43 in our third quarter. Rams with 14 points while the Raiders have 30, and there's a shot that was it even a shot? I don't quite know, but it is out of bounds off of Pine Richland. Seneca will inbound. Maybe it was blocked.
Yeah,
actually.
it looked like the shot might have been blocked and then just ricocheted out of bounds.
Here's the inbound to Koken. Koken will wait and then get it to McKenna Gross. McKenna Gross, 6 points tonight. Great defense applied by Gessner, but an even better pass and a score. The assist goes to Koken, but 2 points that was Koken, or Gross. There's a shot that's an air ball by Brenner, but right there to put it back up, there's Gessner. Kendall Gessner, the junior, gets her first 2 points of the night for the Rams.
So it looks like the Rams will be getting it right back here, Brian.
Down 16. Here's Brenner, will try a three. Too strong. And rebound goes right to Gross. There's a foul.
Looks like on Pine Richland.
Yep. On Brenner.
Yeah, it looked like she got in there after the missed three, tried to get in there and get the ball, but bumped into the, looked like McKenna Gross actually.
There's Koken. Koken will get it to Thompson. 3:35 now in our third quarter. And now Kramer at the wing, defended by Graff. Tried to get it to Koken, but instead gets it to Gross. Gross defended by Llewellyn, will drive, and that shot's blocked by Krankovic. Great defensive play by Victoria Krankovic. And here's Kramer, will drive, and another block by Krankovic, but there's a foul called. Actually, that's on Graff. It was blocked away by Krankovic as well. Nonetheless, Kramer will go to the line for 2 free throws. The first to the left. Kramer, the sophomore for the Raiders. The second, nothing but net. There's Llewellyn's inbound to Graff. Full court press applied by Seneca Valley, and it is tipped away by the Raiders, but the Rams will inbound again from that baseline.
Yeah, Brian, that's the thing. These Seneca Valley Raiders, even though they got a big lead here, they haven't been backing off an inch, making it really tough for the Rams.
It looked like Llewellyn actually stepped onto the court there. So there's a turnover for Pine Richland, and Seneca Valley will now inbound. Kramer gets it across to Thompson. Now Kramer again, defended by Graff. Now Koken. Koken on the far wing. Gets it to Martin. Carly Martin, a senior for Seneca Valley. And there's a whistle against the Rams. 33-16 to score. 2:52 remaining in our third quarter. It's a quick inbound and a score by Gretchen Koken. Koken has 9 points now, and there's going to be a foul on Seneca Valley. The Rams try to get it inside. Carly Martin charged with that foul. So Graff will inbound to Krankovic. Krankovic shot off the back of the rim, and a jump ball situation. Possession arrow points towards Seneca Valley.
Yeah, Brian, a classic example of two dogs and one bone. And unfortunately, Pine Richland, though, Kayla Graff was able to come up with it. Possession was not ruled in their favor.
Now here we go. The Raiders up by 19, 35-16. Raiders look to improve to 3-3 in conference play. And there's another shot blocked by Krankovic. Great defense by Krankovic here in the second half.
Yeah, Brian, and really the Rams have been able to hold Seneca Valley from pulling away any further. I mean, you might have to remember that one if the Pine Richland Rams are able to come up with something here.
There's a drive, and short corner by Koken is good. Koken now in double figures with 11 points as we're under 2 minutes to play in our third quarter. 1:53 to be exact. Brenner fakes a three, gets it to Pulse. And now Llewellyn tipped around and gets eventually to Kayla Graff. Kayla Graff trying to work around Gross. And it's tipped away, and coming up with it is Seneca. Now here goes Gross, gets it out. There's a three by Kramer. Actually a long two, it's an air ball. And an offensive rebound. A lot of noise coming from the Seneca Valley bench. So here we go. Seneca Valley after the steal.
And Brian, on the Pine Richland side, you could hear a pin drop.
Yeah, that bench is lively over there on the Seneca Valley side. There's a foul on Pine Richland. So looks like Gross will go to the line as the foul's on Brenner. First rattles in. Second rattles in and out. And there's an immediate foul. Again on Pine Richland. And that was on Pulse. So Martin will inbound. There's a drive and score for McKenna Koken, pardon me. Koken now has 13, and now a three from the corner is good from Kendall Gessner. Right in front of us, Ben. Perfect view of that.
Yeah, Brian, she's able to get the open look, and Pine Richland able to execute on a three-point shot here, as it looked like earlier they were having some trouble.
Oh, tipped away, and here goes Gessner. And she will lay it up, and it's good.
Never know, Brian.
2 more points for Pine Richland. Kendall Gessner accounts for 5 straight Rams points. She now has 7, leading all of the Rams tonight. 18 seconds now in our third quarter. There's a pass out of bounds. The Rams will get the ball. Some more energy coming from that Rams bench.
Never know, Brian.
So here we go, 10 seconds.
Llewellyn. Richland gonna have to work fast though with the clock.
Inside, Graff. There's Pulse. 2 more points for Pine Richland. Rams are getting some more points here. And at the end of the third quarter, they're still down by 17. But momentum is starting to shift here, Ben. 40-23 now. So with that, any adjustments here? They are starting to get more points here.
Well, Brian, I thought that Pine Richland was able to hit the open shots there at the end of the quarter, and they haven't been able to do that throughout the game earlier. And also, they played a little more aggressive on defense. They were able to get a couple of steals there and get some easy points and make this game a little bit more closer. And it's getting interesting here as we head into the fourth quarter with Pine Richland having some momentum.
Yep, so hopefully the Rams will get some more points here, make this a close game. You never know in high school basketball what happens whenever teams overcome some big deficits to get some wins, but you never know. Some Pine Richland Rams have some
Brian,
great shooters, some three-point shooters.
Sometimes with hopefully you're hoping from the Pine Richland side that maybe Seneca Valley's taking their foot off the gas pedal a little bit, and Pine Richland will try to get this game tied up here.
Need a lot of points here in this last 8 minutes of play, but they have the shooting ability to do that.
See if they can carry some of that momentum, and they start the fourth quarter with the ball.
So Graff will inbound to Llewellyn. Rams down by 17. Fourth quarter from Pine Richland High School between the Raiders and the Rams. 6A Section 3 matchup in the WPIAL. Alongside the legend Ben Lambert, I'm Brian Kerp. And here's Krankovic, gets it outside.
Open look.
Uh-oh, here's a 3 off the front rim. And rebound goes right to Gross. Gross will slow it down, bring it across the timeline.
Yeah, if you're Seneca Valley, this is what you want to do. Not go too fast, but I spoke too soon.
Layup for Kayla Graff. Uh-oh, here we go. 15 points still.
Nice job by Graff there, able to pick the pocket of Gross.
Rams playing that great defense. There's a block by Krankovic, and here go the Rams again. Another block, and here goes Gessner in the paint, gets it back. Krankovic, the 2 off the backboard, and rebound goes right to Carly Martin. Martin will get it now to Gross. And there's a timeout as
And the Pine Richland side has picked it up a little bit in their intensity. As earlier they were quiet, and Pine Richland creeps a little bit closer.
So at this time, we'd like to advertise our Pine Richland Television On Demand page. I've memorized all this, by the way, Ben. But if you missed any concert, talent show, sporting event,
Relive the
morning announcements,
football games
yeah.
from your state champion Pine Richland Rams.
Yeah, you can also watch morning announcements and school board meetings. You can go to the On Demand page, www.pinerichland.org/PRTV/on-demand.
I really miss those morning announcements. When I was a part of them, Brian, they were always a good time.
Still a lot of fun. Mr. Aaron Kaler does a great job at teaching.
Yeah, he
the
really
students.
does, and really he gives you the opportunity to learn it, you know,
Yeah.
to go out and really. I think Pine Richland's unique in that way, and the fact that when you're not, you really do know how, when you walk out of one of his classes, you know how to produce, you really truly know how to produce video instead of just taking notes all the time.
Yep, Mr. Aaron Kaler, one of the many, many great faculty members at Pine Richland High School and great faculty members across the school district from elementary schools. And if you're interested in taking any of those video production classes, students in high school or even in 8th grade at the middle school, be sure to talk to your guidance counselor and inquire about taking those classes. I strongly encourage anyone that's interested in film or just wants to have fun making videos to take that class. As there's another turnover here, 6:15 in our 4th quarter. Llewellyn will lay it up and it's good.
Gets you a little bit of a, gets you away from the sitting down, taking some of those video classes, as the Rams have all of a sudden have creeped a little bit closer, only down by 13 now.
40-27, the 30-second timeout. And also, speaking of video production, we're also going to talk about the Rammies. The Rammies is a digital art contest in the Pine Richland School District. It's open to all students, teachers, and alumni. You can submit your digital art. We're going to have that due date at the end of March. And then the show will be in late April, early May. More details to come, but for details how to start out your video, you can go to our website, www.pinerichland.org/PRTV/Rammies. And remember, you spell that R-A-M-M-Y-S. Here's an inbound. Oh, and
Pine Richland able to come up with the stuff.
yeah, she kind of threw it in the air to herself, but kind of a pass out of bounds if you look at it.
Yeah, a little bit of bocce ball, but nevertheless, Pine Richland able to get the ball back, looking to get it even closer.
There's a 3, that's an air ball by Brenner. An easy rebound for Koken. .548 now. Rams down by 13.
If you're Seneca Valley, this is what you want to do. You want to just hold the ball and waste as much time off that clock as you can. You don't want to rag the clock, but I mean, anytime you can take 20 or so seconds off the clock, you never know how that's going to impact it. If the Rams should pull any closer.
There's no shot clock in high school. At least in WPIL, I guess there's a shot clock in other high school leagues.
You know, a shot clock, I never thought about what a shot clock would be like in high school. It would definitely be interesting.
Watching some high school basketball on ESPN sometimes, and I see a shot clock.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I mean, it really, watching the game, college and NBA games, it really puts an urgency. And really, whenever you don't have a look, you really just, and you're not in a good ideal shot position, you really just have to throw one up if the shot clock's empty and hope it hits the backboard for the clock to reset.
So McKenna Gross will go to the line to shoot. And or 1 and 1 that is, as the Raiders are now in the bonus. Rams now have 7 team fouls. Second, fourth coming in the 1 and 1. Nothing but net. 42 points now for Seneca Valley. 42-27, 5:06 remaining in our game. There's a forward pass to Brenner. It's tipped away.
So it looks like Pine Richland will retain. Yes, they will retain.
Yeah, that was aggressive defense there by Seneca. There's the inbound to Krankovic. Krankovic will get to Gessner. Gessner at the wing. Gessner has 7 points tonight. And now here goes Graff on the drive. She will score. And she will go to the line for an old-fashioned three-point play. Carly Martin charged with the foul. Excuse me, that was Kramer. Pardon me, as the and one from Graff is up. Rams only down by a dozen now, pulling closer.
Yeah, Brian, it looked impossible later until midway through the third quarter, but the Rams have pulled even. See if they can do something here.
Graff now leads all Rams scorers with 8 points. Martin will get it back to, that's Koken. Koken will wait. Defended by Gessner, now get to Martin. There's going to be a foul on.
Looks like Seneca Valley,
Yep,
I think,
yep.
as Pine Richland was motioning towards Seneca Valley, and now this gets really interesting.
Yeah, it's Gretchen Koken charged with that. Her second of the night. Fourth team foul for the Raiders. The Rams will inbound, and Graff will just hand it off to Llewellyn. Graff. Now inside pass, tipped around, and now contested shot by Brenner is no good. Now here goes the Raiders trying to maybe beat some clock here potentially, as it's at 4 minutes exactly now. And there's a, almost a turnover.
What a
Gessner.
play there
Yeah.
by,
Gessner.
looks like Koken, I believe, got the, looked like she was about to lose the ball there, and Pine Richland was going to be off to the races, but it was able to rip it right back. And now the Raiders are, so it looks like,
dribbling around, and the shot on the from the paint is no good. Rebound goes to Krankovic, and here go the Rams, down by a dozen. 42-30. Krankovic gets it back to Brenner. Llewellyn at the top of the key. A long two. Too strong. Rebounded by Krankovic. And she is fouled, so she will go to the line for 2 for the Rams.
Rams are trying to pull within 10 now as
Krankovic will go to the line for 2 with 4 points. First rattles in. Rams cut the lead down to 11. 3:15 remaining in our fourth quarter. Second off the front rim, and what a save by Brenner, but goes the wrong team.
yeah, right to a Raider. Unfortunately, a great play, but unfortunate. Good effort though.
And great defense again by Gessner. She's defending Koken on the play. Now Kramer. Kramer and Koken tied for the team lead in points with 13 apiece.
Does it look like Llewellyn almost had it there, and
She'll be charged with the foul now.
yeah, it looked like she batted it up into the air and was unable to come away with the ball.
Llewellyn now has 4 fouls tonight.
And
Here's a
it looks
timeout
called they'll
called by
send Seneca Valley right back to the free throw line. That's never something you want to do when you're down by double digits here.
So what do you think the Rams are talking about in the huddle here as they're down by 11 with under 3 minutes, 2:47 to be exact?
Well, you know, Brian, you really have on offense you got to move quick because you have to find an open look, and on defense you really, I mean, it's tough. You want to you want to go try to steal, try to steal, but you don't want to force it. You know, you got to be patient, and that's the tough thing about Pine Richland with well, high school basketball with no shot clock. I mean, you want to you want to you don't want to be too aggressive and then leave a man leave somebody wide open for the open shot.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how Pine Richland adjusts here. And I mean, I think they're talking about the scenarios of what they have to get a play drawn up for if they miss
Yep.
these free throws and if they make them. And really, Pine Richland has to start scoring and scoring fast.
Yeah, after tonight, the Rams will travel to play at NA on Thursday. They're ranked #1 in WPIAL and one of the best in the state. Rams will try to bid for an upset out at North Allegheny on Thursday as Gross will go to the line to shoot 2. Or 1-1, pardon me. It's missed. As Llewellyn will now get to Graff. Graff calling out the play to the Rams. And Brenner tried to pass it, tipped away, and picked up right along the baseline by Gross.
Gross able to keep the feet in after
tiptoeing.
And now it looks like the Raiders are winding clock, and it looks like a foul is going to be called on the Rams as looked like Koken went down there trying to make a pass, and Pine Richland looking for something here to try to pull even closer.
Foul was on Gessner. The first. There's been 1-1 is good. 43-31. Second nothing is nothing but net as well. So here's Brenner. Rams down by 13. Graff looking to get it. Brenner. Now here's Graff again. Graff with 9 points tonight. Brenner tries a 3, but it's blocked away. Very athletic play by Madeline Karchuk.
Yeah, Brian, I think that's just summed the night up tonight for the Pine Richland Rams. It just seems like anytime they've gotten something going, anytime they've built any momentum, it seems like the Raiders have responded so far.
There's an interior pass to Krankovic. Krankovic gets it back to Graff. Graff tries a 3, low to the right. And offensive rebound, but no, she stepped on the baseline. Taylor Brenner rebounded and then stepped, like I said, on the baseline, right where the referee is standing. So 1:45 remaining. Full court pressure applied by Pine Richland. There's the inbound to Gross. Gross along the sideline, and there's a turnover forced by Pine Richland. Graff will try a 3. Great defense turns into 3 points for the Rams there. How about that?
The Rams are able to pull within 10, and really, yeah, Kayla Graff was right on the ball there and able to force the errant pass and able to finish it with 3.
So you're Seneca Valley. What are you telling? If you're the head coach, what are you telling the Raiders right now? Still up by 10.
Be smart with, be careful, take care of the ball, you don't want to feed Pine Richland's transition game. It seemed like that's what really got them started coming back a little bit. It seemed like Seneca Valley was up there late in the third quarter, and it seemed like that Kayla Graff was able to take that from the top of the key and able to go all the way go the other way and get 2 and give Pine Richland some momentum heading into the fourth quarter. And with 1:35 left here in the game, it's certainly not over.
Here's the inbound, almost another turnover, and it is turned over. Great defense again. Here's Gessner. Now a 3 by Graff. No good, and fought for the rebound, and there the Rams, they come up with it. Gessner gets it to Graff. Graff from the top, her 3 to the left. Rebound goes to Llewellyn. 1:15 now. Llewellyn gets it to Krankovic. Now Graff. Graff will drive. He will miss the layup. Get the ball back for Pine Richland. Brenner from the wing. Llewellyn tries a three. Rattles in and out. Another great rebound. Actually, no, they call jump ball maybe. Great possession by Pine Richland there. Couldn't get any points out of it, but
yeah, Brian, and that's the only problem I have with it. I mean, now you're looking up and there's 57.8 on the clock. Pine Richland's forced into a situation where they have to foul.
And there's a turnover. Kendall Gessner with some great defense.
Able to come from behind there, but unable to convert.
Oh, and there's going to be a foul on Kayla Graff as she knocks, looks like, Koken over on near the baseline.
Yeah, it looked like that was a little bit of a some frustration as Pine Richland unable to look like they've been able to force Seneca Valley into some turnovers here, but have been unable to take advantage of those opportunities.
So Koken will go to the line to shoot two. All of the Seneca Valley Raiders, other than Koken, of course, will retreat into the backcourt, waiting for the Rams. So 1 of 2 on free throws was Gretchen Koken. She now has 15 points. 40 seconds now. Llewellyn gets it to Brenner. Brenner. There's going to be
Looks like
charge.
a charge
yeah.
on Brenner. As it looks like Seneca Valley's bench is really alive as they can smell the as they look to sweep the series with the Pine Richland Rams this year.
Here's an inbound to Karchut. Here's Graff. 31 seconds now. Gets it to Krankovic. Krankovic. From about the free throw line, the Rams bring into single digits, Ben. Still 22 seconds left. And there's easy transition. Well, ball was lost by Karchut. Tipped around, 15 seconds.
And it looks like Seneca Valley's just going to hold it for these final seconds. And it looks like Pine Richland, Seneca Valley's going to sweep the series this year with the Rams. Rams put up a valiant effort, but it came up short in the end.
You gotta give the Rams a lot of credit here tonight. Some great defensive plays, especially at the end by Kendall Gessner. And Rams just didn't get enough offense going as they dropped this one 36-45. Seneca Valley with the win. So Ben, what are some of your final comments tonight? Tough loss for the Rams, but they got a few more games left in their section schedule.
Well, Brian, I thought that Pine Richland started off a little slow tonight, and really, unfortunately, they built some momentum there late into the third quarter, but it was unfortunately too little and too late. And, you know, early in the game, they were missing some open shots, and really, you know, you look back on it, and it was some wasted opportunities. Yep. And when you do that against the team that's above you, you're not going to win very often. And we saw that here tonight. A positive, good performance,
yep,
you know, at the end there, but unfortunately, you know, they weren't able to pull any closer. And yeah, I mean, they were able to get some life there with Kayla Graff's steal, but unfortunately, they weren't able to. It seemed like every time they got some momentum, it seemed like every time the Rams were able to get some momentum, Seneca Valley was able to come right back and get a couple points of their own and really even it out. So Pine Richland was unable to get any ground. So a tough loss here for the Rams tonight, and hopefully they'll be ready for Thursday as they go into the Lions Den to face the
North Allegheny Tigers.
North Allegheny, always a big rivalry.
One of the points I should mention tonight, I believe the Rams only had 8 points at the end of the first half. They ended up getting 28 points to get 36 in total, so the offense certainly improved from the first to second half, but unfortunately the Rams didn't quite have enough offense to get back into this game, and They dropped this one, as Ben mentioned, by 9, 45-36 to the Seneca Valley Raiders. We remind you to join us this Friday night as the Pine Richland Rams will host
Should be a
the
big
Butler,
one.
Yep, Butler area tornado. That's a rematch pretty much from what happened last year at the buzzer. Phil Dracovic with that buzzer beater, and of course that WPIL championship
Should
game.
be fun, Brian.
Yep.
There'll be won't be a seat in the house, so if any of you out there want to want to come, be sure to get your tickets fast.
And if not, you can watch it right here on Pine Richland Television. We'll bring it to you live on television as well as on our live streaming page. Those of you that might be watching this basketball game right now on the live streaming page, you already know the website, but those of you that are watching us on replay, you can go to the live streaming page, www.pinerichland.org/PRTV/streaming. But tonight, the Lady Rams lose to Seneca Valley 45-36, alongside legend Ben Lambert, myself, Brian Kerb, our executive producer, Bill Clack, as well as our camera person, Jacob Okleyevsky. All of us here at PRTV would like to thank you for watching us tonight. Have a good night.